respect us like human beings. They think we're like an object that since they're paying us, that we gotta, they say jump, we gotta say how high.
Well, management, basically, they treated us like peons, like they walked all over us.
It was like you do what I say, if you don't do what I say, you out of here. That's the way the mentality was.
It's stuff that just made no sense. It's just not a way to treat employees.
Management, in my experience, they could be very disrespectful. They could treat you like you aren't a person. Sometimes they could be very degrading.
Some of them was pretty disrespectful. They treated you. They did what they want to you and talk to you any old kind of way.
Even when I got married, they didn't give me a day off.
They got a bully system. That's the type of system that they have set up there.
So I had to take a sick day forcefully because, something I wanted to do, get married.
I had a friend, they got him for adjusting his seatbelt on his forklift, and they didn't give no verbal warning or written. They went straight to a one-day suspension.
What I've learned at Huhtamaki, if you're bright, if you're smart, and no one can intimidate you, you don't get very far.
And the lead there, when I first got there, he had those intentions. He kept asking me out, like harassing me, like sexually harassing me, like spying on me, spying on who I talk to, and would constantly asking me out and stuff like that.
We had one lady, she was talking about how she had to use Medi-Cal to help support her job, and one lead man said she shouldn't have the effing babies.
The one woman in my department that is a machine operator, she had gotten pregnant a few years ago. The team leader walks up to me and tells me, I think that, excuse my French, I think that is pregnant.
Treat employees with respect, you'll get the best out of them. If you don't, then you'll have problems.
I fired one of my coworkers, a guy that worked on swing shift, and I was practically forced to work for like about 6 to 8 months, 12 hours every day. At the time, my daughter was playing soccer for high school. I was not able to participate in one single game.
I get off at 2 o'clock, they'll come ask me about 1:15.
Say if I get out at 2 o'clock, they'll come to me at 1:50. 1:30 is the earliest they'll come to me.
It's pretty unfair because let's say you work a shift 6 to 2 o'clock and something comes up, they ask you at 1:50, 1:55, hey, can you stay? And it's like they disregard anything, any appointments, anything you had to do after work. They just, can you stay? And then if you say no, they'll figure out a way to get back at you.
They didn't care if I had just worked 12 hours, got out at 6 in the morning. They wanted me to go back right away at 2. They only gave me like a few hours of sleep and then go back to them. It's like, and if I didn't show up, they'll give me points.
If you know you need somebody to work, won't you ask them in the morning time, so if they have things to do in the evening time, they can prepare for it.
They had put me on 3 different shifts in 1 week, and I ended up getting in a car crash on my way home one morning after an 8-hour shift, and I don't understand how we're supposed to mentally, be able to run all these presses and, all this danger in the plant, to be mindful of it if, your mind's not there if you're working 12-hour shifts constantly. Like for the past 3 weeks, I've been working 12-hour shifts.
Try explaining to somebody that, they go by a strict schedule and, how come you're late? Like for instance, daycare, I pick my kids up at a certain time every day and, hey, you didn't communicate that you were going to be late today. Oh, well, I know my manager asked me to stay at the last minute, and it disrupts everything else, like everybody that's in the picture.
For me, it's excessively expensive, especially that I have to take care of my son too.
This one's decent, but not good enough. We still pay a lot.
It's been going up every year. These past few years, yes, it has.
Yeah, it's getting pretty expensive.
Me and my wife recently had a child a year ago, and we ended up with a bill of about $2,000, you know, and this is in network, you know, so it's like if I went out of network, who knows how much that would be.
I don't have any illnesses or whatever, but I notice it going up a whole lot every year when it's time to re-enroll.
Every year it's just going up. It's going up, but we're not getting no cost of living. We're not getting no extra money, so it's like each year it goes up, our check's getting smaller.
And it's crazy, you know. My wife's on my plan. I can't even afford to put my kids on because it's way too expensive.
No, I can't afford to put my kids on there. It'd be skyrocket high.
I just pray that I don't get sick.
As long as I stay as healthy as I am right now, it's okay. But if I get sick, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. It was so hot in that place.
Very hot.
Excessively hot, man.
I know I had a thermometer just in my area last summer. It gotten up to about 98 degrees inside the building, and that's without ventilation. It's not much ventilation.
And we work with heaters, and in the summertime it's over 110 degrees. We're sweating.
Excruciating. The heat regularly in my area, it tops out at least 110, 115, you know.
It's 100 degrees outside and now you're indoors. Now you have machines running and, you know, it could be upwards of 115 to 120 degrees in that plant.
We had to actually fight for them to give us water. You know, they end up telling us one time that it wasn't hot enough for water, you know, and it was already 95 degrees, you know, at 8 o'clock in the morning.
And if it wasn't for us organizing, they wouldn't even provide us with water. We had to provide our own water. Now they just take us water, but if it wasn't for organizing, they wouldn't do nothing about it.
But since we've starting to organize, now they got the mystics in there. The last meeting we just went to, they told us they got these blowers coming in to come, whoever they rent the building from, okayed them that they can put these blowers in now, and we got water coolers in every department.
The only reason we got coolers is when we went public with the union. Then they start trying to cool the place off for us. But other than that, that's a sweatshop.
Huhtamaki, they take safety very seriously, but my honest opinion, it's a cover-up because they're about numbers. They're about production and how many boxes they can push out.
In the meetings, they tell us safety, safety, safety. But then when you go out on the floor, you got their leads telling you, how come your numbers aren't up? How come your production isn't up?
I think they're more concerned about production. Yeah, they say their motto is safety first, but at the end of the day, they want the numbers. They're always pushing for the numbers.
What matters to them most is their production, and then their safety and other stuff comes next.
They only care about safety is when somebody get hurt. They don't care about safety because they constantly worried about the numbers, the machine been down too long. No, they don't care about safety. They act like they do, but they don't.
I was running a press in the inline department, and one of the other managers had told me to shut the press off because it was unsafe. It was an unsafe hazard that was happening on the press. Our roll was actually jumping, and our rolls are like 1,500 pounds plus. And so he told me to tag it, shut it off. Well, my manager came in and he asked me, well, why are you down? You know, I'm like, well, you know, I explained to him what happened and that it was unsafe and that somebody can be really hurt or seriously hurt by this. And he started yelling at me, telling me like, well, what do you mean it was down? And you should have told him that this stuff needs to get out now and this, that, and other. I'm like, well, I've done everything by the book. I follow all my SOPs, all the JSAs. What else do you want me to do? You know what I mean? I've done my job. You know, another manager, you know, tagged it. You know, what am I supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to tell him that you need to run that stuff now and this, that, and the other. You know, they're just anal about numbers only. They don't care about your safety. They don't care about your health. They don't care about what you have to do to get the numbers. All they want is the numbers.
Do I think management would allow us to have a fair vote? At this time, I do not think so.
I don't think so. I think they'll try to bring more anti-union people to scare more people away.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, look what happened when we just said that we wanted to go union, the steps they took, you know, the route they went. I believe that if we were to actually ask for a vote right now, it would be that much worse.
You know, I don't know. I think they would probably go way out in preventing that from happening.
If there was a vote, no way in 100 years it would be fair. Management would be all on top of it.